The ICC Cricket World Cup is the international championship of one-day international cricket. The event is organised by the sport's governing body, the International Cricket Council, with preliminary qualification rounds leading up to a finals tournament which is held every 4 years. The tournament is one of the world's most viewed sporting events and is considered the flagship event of the international cricket calendar by the ICC. The first World Cup was organised in England in June 1975, with the first ODI cricket match having been played only 4 years prior. However, a separate Women's Cricket World Cup had been held 2 years before the first men's tournament, and a tournament involving multiple international teams had been held as early as 1912, when a triangular tournament of test matches was played between Australia, England and South Africa. Each of the first 3 World Cups were held in England. From the 1987 tournament onwards, hosting has been shared between countries under an unofficial rotation system, with 14 ICC members having hosted at least one match in the tournament. Hosting of a single edition is often shared between neighbouring countries. The tournament's most recent edition in 2011 was shared between Bangladesh, India, and Sri Lanka. The finals of the World Cup are contested by all 10 full members of the ICC and a number of teams made up from associate and affiliate members of the ICC, selected via the World Cricket League and a later qualifying tournament. A total of 19 teams have competed in the 10 editions of the tournament, with 14 competing in the 2011 tournament. Australia has won the tournament 4 times, with the West Indies, India, Pakistan and Sri Lanka also having won the tournament. The best performance by a non-full member team came when Kenya made the semi-finals of the 2003 tournament. History. Before the first Cricket World Cup, the first ever international cricket match was played between Canada and the United States, on the 24th and 25th September 1844. However, the first credited test match was played in 1877 between Australia and England, and the 2 teams competed regularly for the Ashes in subsequent years. South Africa was admitted to test status in 1889. Representative cricket teams were selected to tour each other, resulting in bilateral competition. Cricket was also included as an Olympic sport at the 1900 Paris Games, where Great Britain defeated France to win the gold medal. This was the only appearance of cricket at the Summer Olympics. The first multilateral competition at international level was the 1912 Triangular Tournament, a test cricket tournament played in England between all 3 test-playing nations at the time, England, Australia and South Africa. The event was not a success. The summer was exceptionally wet, making play difficult on damp and cover pitches, and attendances were poor, attributed to a surfeit of cricket. In subsequent years, international test cricket has generally been organised as bilateral series. A multilateral test tournament was not organised again until the quadrangular Asian Test Championship in 1999. The number of nations playing test cricket increased gradually over the years, with the addition of West Indies in 1928, New Zealand in 1930, India in 1932, and Pakistan in 1952, but international cricket continued to be played as bilateral test matches over 3, 4 or 5 days. In the early 1960s, English county cricket teams began playing a shortened version of cricket which only lasted for 1 day. Starting in 1962 with a 4-team knockout competition known as the Midlands Knockout Cup, and continuing with the inaugural Gillette Cup in 1963, one-day cricket grew in popularity in England. A National Sunday League was formed in 1969. The first one-day international event was played on the 5th day of a rain-aborted test match between England and Australia at Melbourne in 1971, to fill the time available and as compensation for the frustrated crowd. It was a 40-over match with 8 balls per over. In the late 1970s, Kerry Packer established the rival World Series cricket competition. It introduced many of the features of one-day international cricket that are now commonplace, including coloured uniforms, matches played at night under floodlights with a white ball and dark sight screens, and, for television broadcasts, multiple camera angles, effects microphones to capture sounds from the players on the pitch, and on-screen graphics. The first of the matches with coloured uniforms was the WSC Australians in wattle gold versus WSC West Indians in coral pink, played at VFL Park in Melbourne on January 17, 1979. The success and popularity of the domestic one-day competitions in England and other parts of the world, as well as the early one-day internationals, prompted the ICC to consider organising a Cricket World Cup. Prudential World Cups. The inaugural Cricket World Cup was hosted in 1975 by England, the only nation able to put forward the resources to stage an event of such magnitude at that time. The 1975 tournament started on June 7. The first three events were held in England and officially known as the Prudential Cup after the sponsors Prudential plc. The matches consisted of 66 ball overs per team, played during the daytime in traditional form, with the players wearing cricket whites and using red cricket balls. 8 teams participated in the first tournament: Australia, England, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, and the West Indies, together with Sri Lanka and a composite team from East Africa. One notable omission was South Africa, who were banned from international cricket due to apartheid. The tournament was won by the West Indies, who defeated Australia by 17 runs in the final at Lord's. Glenn Turner was the top run-getter with 333 runs and Gary Gilmore led the bowling charts with 11 wickets. The 1979 World Cup saw the introduction of the ICC Trophy competition to select non-test playing teams for the World Cup, with Sri Lanka and Canada qualifying. The West Indies won a second consecutive World Cup tournament, defeating the hosts, England, by 92 runs in the final at a meeting which followed the World Cup. The International Cricket Conference agreed to make the competition a quadrennial event. Gordon Greenidge was the top run-getter with 253 runs and Mike Hendrick was the top wicket-taker with 10 wickets. The 1983 event was hosted by England for a third consecutive time. By this time, Sri Lanka had become a test-playing nation, and Zimbabwe qualified through the ICC Trophy. A fielding circle was introduced, 30 yards away from the stumps. 4 fieldsmen needed to be inside it at all times. In this tournament teams faced each other twice, before moving into the knockouts. India, an outsider quoted at 66 to win by bookmakers before the competition began, were crowned champions after upsetting the West Indies by 43 runs in the final. Roger Binney was the top wicket-taker with 18 wickets and David Gower with 384 runs was the highest run-getter. 1987 1996, the 1987 tournament, named the Reliance World Cup after their Indian sponsors, was held in India and Pakistan, the first time that the competition was held outside England. All the test sides along with Zimbabwe who qualified again through the ICC Trophy competed. The games were reduced from 60 to 50 overs per innings, the current standard, because of the shorter daylight hours in the Indian subcontinent compared with England's summer. Australia won the championship by defeating England by 7 runs in the final, the closest margin in World Cup final history. The 1992 World Cup, held in Australia and New Zealand, introduced many changes to the game, such as coloured clothing, white balls, day-night matches, and an alteration to the fielding restrictions. All the Test nations competed including the South African cricket team who participated in the event for the first time, following the fall of the apartheid regime and the end of the international sports boycott. Pakistan overcame a dismal start to emerge as champions, defeating England by 22 runs in the final and therefore winning the first white ball World Cup. The 1996 championship was held in the Indian subcontinent for a second time. Pakistan and India with the inclusion of Sri Lanka as host for some of its group stage matches. In the semi-final, Sri Lanka, heading towards a crushing victory over India at Eden Gardens after their hosts lost 8 wickets while scoring 120 runs in pursuit of 254, were awarded victory by default after crowd unrest broke out in protest against the Indian performance. Sri Lanka went on to win their maiden championship by defeating Australia by 7 wickets in the final held in Lahore. Australian treble. In 1999 the event was hosted by England, with some matches also being held in Scotland, Ireland, Wales and the Netherlands. The 9 full members contested the World Cup along with 3 associate members, Kenya, and for the first time, Bangladesh and Scotland, who qualified through the ICC Trophy. Australia qualified for the semi-finals after reaching their target in their Super 6 match against South Africa off the final over of the match. They then proceeded to the final with a tied match in the semi-final where a mix-up between South African batsman Lance Klusener and Alan Donald saw Donald drop his bat and stranded mid-pitch to be run out. In the final, Australia dismissed Pakistan for 132 and then reached a target in less than 20 overs, with 8 wickets in hand. South Africa, Zimbabwe and Kenya hosted the 2003 World Cup. The number of teams participating in the event increased from 12 to 14. Kenya's victories over Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe, among a €30 and a forfeit by the New Zealand team, which refused to play in Kenya because of security concerns, enabled Kenya to reach the semi-finals, the best result by an associate. In the final, Australia made 359 runs for the loss of 2 wickets, the largest ever total in a final, defeating India by 125 runs. In 2007 the tournament was hosted by the West Indies and expanded to 16 teams. Bangladesh progressed to the second round for the first time after defeating India. Ireland, making their World Cup debut, tied with Zimbabwe and defeated Pakistan to progress to the second round, where they went on to defeat Bangladesh to get promoted to the main ODI table. Following their defeat to Ireland, the Pakistani coach Bob Woommer was found dead in his hotel room. Jamaican police had initially launched a murder investigation into Woomer's death but later confirmed that he died of heart failure. Australia defeated Sri Lanka in the final by 53 runs, in farcical light conditions, extending their undefeated run in the World Cup to 29 matches and winning 3 straight World Cups. 2011, the 2011 Cricket World Cup was jointly hosted by India, Sri Lanka and for the first time Bangladesh. Pakistan was stripped of their hosting rights following the terrorist attack on the Sri Lankan cricket team, with the games originally scheduled for Pakistan redistributed to the other host countries. 14 teams participated in the tournament, consisting of the 10 full members and 4 associate teams who qualified via the 2009 Cricket World Cup qualifier. India won their second World Cup title by beating Sri Lanka by 6 wickets in the final in Mumbai, thus becoming the first country to win the Cricket World Cup final on home soil. India's Yuvraj Singh was named as the man of the tournament. Format: qualification. The test-playing nations qualify automatically for the World Cup main event, while the other teams have to qualify through a series of preliminary qualifying tournaments. The one-day international playing nations automatically enter the final qualification tournament, the World Cup qualifier, along with other nations who have qualified through separate competitions. Qualifying tournaments were introduced for the second World Cup, where 2 of the 8 places in the finals were awarded to the leading teams in the ICC Trophy. The number of teams selected through the ICC Trophy has varied throughout the years. Currently, 6 teams are selected for the Cricket World Cup. The World Cricket League is the qualification system provided to allow the associate and affiliate members of the ICC more opportunities to qualify. The name ICC Trophy has been changed to ICC World Cup Qualifier. Under the current qualifying process, the World Cricket League, all 91 associate and affiliate members of the ICC are able to qualify for the World Cup. Associate and affiliate members must play between 2 and 5 stages in the ICC World Cricket League to qualify for the World Cup finals, depending on the division in which they start the qualifying process. Process summary and chronological order: regional tournaments, top teams from each regional tournaments will be promoted to a division depending on the team's rankings according to the ICC and each division's empty spots. Division 1, 6 teams all automatically qualify for the World Cup qualifier. Division 2, 6 teams top 4 qualify for the World Cup qualifier. Division 3, 6 teams top 2 promoted to Division 2. Division 4, 6 teams top 2 promoted to Division 3. Division 5, 6 teams top 2 promoted to Division 4. Division 3, 6 teams top 2 qualify for the World Cup qualifier. World Cup qualifier, 12 teams top 6 are awarded ODI status and top 4 qualify for the World Cup. Tournament. The format of the Cricket World Cup has changed greatly over the course of its history. Each of the first 4 tournaments was played by 8 teams, divided into 2 groups of 4. Their competition comprised 2 stages, a group stage and a knockout stage. The 4 teams in each group played each other in the round-robin group stage, with the top 2 teams in each group progressing to the semi-finals. The winners of the semi-finals played against each other in the final. With the return of South Africa in 1992 after the ending of the apartheid boycott, 9 teams played each other once in the group phase, and the top 4 teams progressed to the semi-finals. The tournament was further expanded in 1996, with 2 groups of 6 teams. The top 4 teams from each group progressed to quarter-finals and semi-finals. A new format was used for the 1999 and 2003 World Cups. The teams were split into 2 pools, with the top 3 teams in each pool advancing to the Super 6. The Super 6 teams played the 3 other teams that advanced from the other group. As they advanced, the teams carried their points forward from previous matches against other teams advancing alongside them, giving them an incentive to perform well in the group stages. The top 4 teams from the Super 6 stage progressed to the semi-finals, with winners playing in the final. The last format used in the 2007 World Cup features 16 teams allocated into 4 groups of 4. Within each group, the teams play each other in a round-robin format. Teams earn points for wins and half points for ties. The top 2 teams from each group move forward to the Super 8 round. The Super 8 teams play the other 6 teams that progressed from the different groups. Teams earn points in the same way as the group stage, but carrying their points forward from previous matches against the other teams who qualified from the same group to the Super 8 stage. The top 4 teams from the Super 8 round advance to the semi-finals, and the winners of the semi-finals play in the final. The current format used in the 2011 World Cup features 2 groups of 7 teams, each playing in a round-robin format. The top 4 teams from each group proceed to the knockout stage consisting of quarter-finals, semi-finals and then the final. Trophy. The ICC Cricket World Cup trophy is presented to the winners of the World Cup finals. The current trophy was created for the 1999 championships, and was the first permanent prize in the tournament's history. Prior to this, different trophies were made for each World Cup. The trophy was designed and produced in London by a team of craftsmen from Garrard and Company over a period of 2 months. The current trophy is made from silver and gilt, and features a golden globe held up by 3 silver columns. The columns, shaped as stumps and bails, represent the 3 fundamental aspects of cricket: batting, bowling and fielding, while the globe characterizes a cricket ball. It stands 60 cm high and weighs approximately 11 kilograms. The names of the previous winners are engraved on the base of the trophy, with space for a total of 20 inscriptions. The original trophy is kept by the ICC. A replica, which differs only in the inscriptions, is permanently awarded to the winning team. Media coverage. The tournament is the world's 3rd largest, being televised in over 200 countries to over 2.2 billion television viewers. Television rights, mainly for the 2011 and 2015 World Cup, were sold for over $1.1 billion, and sponsorship rights were sold for a further $500 million. The 2003 Cricket World Cup matches were attended by 626,845 people, while the 2007 Cricket World Cup sold more than 672,000 tickets. Successive World Cup tournaments have generated increasing media attention as one-day international cricket has become more established. The 2003 World Cup in South Africa was the first to sport a mascot, Dazzler the zebra. An orange mongoose is known as Mello was the mascot for the 2007 Cricket World Cup. Stumpy, a blue elephant was the mascot for the 2011 World Cup. Selection of hosts. The International Cricket Council's Executive Committee votes for the hosts of the tournament after examining the bids made by the nations keen to hold a Cricket World Cup. England hosted the first 3 competitions. The ICC decided that England should host the first tournament because it was ready to devote the resources required to organising the inaugural event. India volunteered to host the third Cricket World Cup, but most ICC members preferred England as the longer period of daylight in England in June meant that a match could be completed in one day. The 1987 Cricket World Cup was held in Pakistan and India, the first hosted outside England. Many of the tournaments have been jointly hosted by nations from the same geographical region, such as South Asia in 1987, 1996 and 2011, Australasia in 1992, Southern Africa in 2003 and West Indies in 2007. Tournament history. Performances by teams. 20 nations have qualified for the finals of the Cricket World Cup at least once. 7 teams have competed in every finals tournament, 5 of which have won the title. The West Indies won the first 2 tournaments, Australia has won 4, India has won 2, while Pakistan and Sri Lanka have each won once. The West Indies and Australia are the only nations to have won consecutive titles. Australia has played in 6 of the 10 final matches. England has yet to win the World Cup, but has been runners-up 3 times. The best result by a non-test playing nation is the semi-final appearance by Kenya in the 2003 tournament. While the best result by a non-test playing team on their debut is the Super 8 by Ireland in 2007. Sri Lanka, who co-hosted the 1996 Cricket World Cup, was the first host to win the tournament, though the final was held in Pakistan. India won the 2011 as host and was the first team to win in a final played in their own country. England is the only other host to have made the final, in 1979. Other countries which have achieved or equaled their best World Cup results while co-hosting the tournament are New Zealand, semi-finalists in 1992. Zimbabwe, reaching the Super 6 in 2003. And Kenya, semi-finalists in 2003. In 1987, co-hosts India and Pakistan both reached the semi-finals, but were eliminated by Australia and England respectively. Australia in 1992, England in 1999, South Africa in 2003, and Bangladesh in 2011 have been the host teams to get out in the first round. Teams' performances. Comprehensive teams' performances of over the past World Cups, a Euro no longer exists. Prior to the 1992 World Cup, South Africa was banned due to apartheid. Number of wins followed by run rate is the criteria for determining the ranks till 1987 World Cup. Number of points followed by head-to-head performance and then net run rate is the criteria for determining the ranks for World Cup from 1992 onwards. Legend, first winner, second runner-up, SFA Euro semi-final, S8AA Euro Super 8, S6AA Euro Super 6, QFA Euro quarter-finals, A1AA Euro first round, QA Euro qualified, debutant teams, a Euro no longer exists. Overview. The table below provides an overview of the performances of teams over past World Cups, as of the end of the 2011 tournament. Teams are sorted by best performance, then total number of wins, then total number of games, then by alphabetical order. A Euro no longer exists. Awards. Man of the tournament. Since 1992, one player has been declared as man of the tournament at the end of the World Cup finals, man of the match in the World Cup final. Before 1992, there was no tournament award, although man of the match awards have always been given for individual matches. Winning the man of the match in the final is logically noteworthy, as this indicates the player deemed to have played the biggest part in the World Cup final. To date the awards has always gone to a member of the winning side. The Man of the Match award in the final of the competition has been awarded to tournament records, main individual and team records. See also ICC World 2020, U/19 Cricket World Cup, Women's Cricket World Cup, references. Sources. External links, official ICC Cricket World Cup 2011 website, official ICC website.